Hey guys, we're the News Coo Crew Podcast. Today we'll be bringing you chapter 1060. I'm your host Christian with my consistent co-host
Jesse.
And we're going to start off by taking a look at the cover page to chapter 1060, Luffy's Dream. We have a wonderful shot here. Jesse?
It is really, really nice. I'm very happy with it. And I think for me, Frankie takes the cake. He's looking better than he has for a very long time. I wasn't a fan of the Wano look. And I really like Sanji with his rings. You know, not much has really changed on his design, but I do like him showing off the bling.
To be more descriptive of what it is we're looking at specifically, the cover page has all 10 members of the Straw Hat main crew all sitting on top of a polar bear. And on the side note, it says that this is a redraw or like a redo of Volume 8's full panel chapter thingy, which only had the first 5 members. So now we've doubled in size and been around with everyone for much longer with the same little like polar bear laying down on the bottom and some of the same positioning for our characters. But I gotta say, I do love the outfits here.
I do too.
Sanji and Zoro look kind of classic in terms of like, you know, what they've been looking like recently.
Yep.
Zoro doesn't really have much going for him at all, honestly. It's just, honestly, even though it's one sword, he has this one, the Wado Ichimonji, not really going for him. Brook's looking pretty classy, but then I'm looking at this hat that Jinbei got on over there, and I love that hat. Yeah. It's like blue with like little yellow accents and feathers. Absolutely love this.
And Usopp looking good too.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's get into the proper chapter now. Like we said, it's Luffy's Dream, the name of this chapter. And we start off with the Going Sunny, and it looks like some Sea Kings that are reacting to the outrage of whatever Luffy's yelling about. And what he is yelling about is the news that we got a couple weeks ago, or I guess several weeks now at this point, and how Nefertiti Cobra is now dead, Vivi's father.
Yep.
And the outrage of it all. You know, Luffy's saying that Sabo would never do something like that. It's not true. There's no way. And, you know, Robin being the astute and worldly person. Yes. Goes to notice, like, hey, I mean, Cobra's, like, not even that bad in the grand scheme of things. He was, like, pretty decent. And it's really the world government, not just regular Joe Schmo kings.
Yeah.
Which kind of falls on its head a little bit, because I feel like the concept of governmental rebellion really came from the Alabasta arc before anything else.
I thought it was really funny that Robin is kind of kicking it off. Like, of course, Luffy's going to have a reaction to Sabo, you know, his name being dragged through the mud. But then Nico Robin immediately being like, nah, that doesn't make sense. I was there.
Yeah, she's actually has this on several sides. Exactly. You know, she was in Alabasta for a long time. She was on the run for a long time. She was with the revolutionaries for a long time.
Yeah. So we got a lot of facets to it.
Yeah. And so we get a quick reminder of what we're talking about here, you know. Sabo and the revolutionaries declared war on the Celestial Dragons. Cobra's dead. Vivi's missing. And so Luffy, being the impulsive and ever inertiated force, you know, just keep pushing on through. He's just like, all right, let's go right now, Alabasta. And then, as is tradition, the second in command of any important ship is always the level-headed one. Yep. And he's like, no, well, what are you going to do? There's nothing to be done. No one's there. Like, we can go to there. Nothing's going to happen. We got to go to, you know, Mary Joy. All right, cool. Let's go there. And then obligatory Caribou panel. You know, we talked about that many chapters ago, how Caribou is just always around.
Yeah.
Always around, always a puddle or always a barrel.
Yep.
Those are just his modes. Why is he chained up? Do they know he's in the barrel?
So that's what confused me. I wasn't sure. I was like, but how was he, like, do they know already? Because the barrel that we're looking at, it's definitely he's like inside of, right? He's the muck inside of it, but it's chained up. And it's like, but he's been appearing other places.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like at the level we're at right now, at least 4 members of our crew know he's in that barrel.
Right?
Yeah. Like the top 4 here have to know. Yeah. Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, and Jinbei. There's no way.
Yeah, they just don't care because he's not a threat.
That's why they chain him up.
They just chain him up.
Simple.
Yeah.
You know, they're not as so cruel as to just throw him over the side, but here he is chained up. All right, so now Luffy's throwing a hissy fit about wanting to go to Mary Joy, Mariwa, whatever you want to call it, Mary Jane, to go and save Vivi, get revenge, do whatever. And they're really coming at Zoro for it. Sanji and the classic Sanji bit of, loving women, particularly Vivi. I mean, I feel them.
Oh, yeah,
Vivi
100%.
Vivi is
I
a
felt
member
this.
of the crew.
I felt this one.
Even Chopper's crying, Cobra's dead. And he was like, oh, he's so nice. He was so nice to us. Everyone's really like on and about. Oh, sorry. Everyone who was there for the Alabasta arc on the ally
really
side.
is feeling it.
Yeah.
And then we have
the three old fuddy-duddies over here.
Yep.
Jinbei, Frankie, and Brooke talking about it. Jinbei, just commenting on Reverie. Frankie questioning, like, wait, was that Sabo? Like, we know Sabo, right?
Yep.
We know Sabo. And even Brooke with his, slightly older history that he has knowledge of, the Alabasta Kingdom has never been one of strife and terrible leadership. They've always been pretty good to their people. Even Nami's joining. Nami very rarely joins in on the antics.
On the sobbing.
This is honestly very serious, but in our perspective, it feels like antic-y, Yeah. It feels like this is just some antics to kind of press along with info.
Because she started off almost like Nico, where she was kind of just like, kind of reserved. And she's like, well, I'm really worried, about Vivi. But, then all of a sudden she breaks out into tears and she joins Chopper and Luffy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Luffy's not usually part of the crying trio over here.
No, he's just screaming, though.
Yep. Now, this bothers me, though. So Zoro says specifically, remember, Luffy, what did you say when this happened to Ace? And then Luffy, kind of admits defeat there. The flashback of, Ace has his own adventures.
Yep.
Zoro then saying, until he was in undeniable danger, you let Ace live his own life.
Yep.
But also, where did that get us with Ace? Right?
Yeah, I thought about that one in that
scene. That thinking feels correct from a level-headedness space, but if you're actually trying to work from a space of remember? Yeah, I remember my brother dying, Zoro.
Him dying.
Yeah. I'm sorry you weren't there for that. I know you feel for me, but you weren't there. None of us were.
Yeah. Yeah.
In reality.
In reality.
All right. And, Zoro is giving Vivi credit. She's strong.
Yeah.
And I think he also feels the same way that we do. If she was dead, they would have just said she was dead.
Yes.
So we're looking at some of the things that, they were reacting to Zoro saying, you're an ogre from Onigashima, green Kaido, green mom, crappy moss head. And, we've gotten to this consistent, beat by beat for here are the people that we care about or just people that we have names for, learning the information that we as the viewers have been learning. And it's just okay, that's cool, I guess.
Yeah.
I want more. I mean, is that so much to ask for? I feel like this is a for the wrap of everything here. And there's more to come here. We're only a few pages in, but we really had that streak of just, here we are leaving Wano. Here we are leaving Wano. Here we are leaving Wano. Here's what's going on outside of Wano. All right, here is our characters learning about the things that you learned about going outside of Wano.
Yes.
So it's just all regurgitation with more fun flair, and that's the One Piece method.
It's flair, right. So I don't necessarily mind it, but this feels like it should have been a couple of chapters ago.
Yeah.
Once again, it's oh, we're past Wano. Well, let's ruminate on why we're past Wano, and then let's be on the open seas, and then think about Wano. I'm not shitting on this, but it's this could have been in one of those recap episodes. Yeah. Where it's they're learning about all this because it is like you said, it's very important. This is very important that they need to know about all of this, but we have already, as the reader, learned this, so we could have condensed this a lot.
Yeah, even this very next panel is just them talking about the Cross Guild again. The third time. This is the third time because every time we've learned something about Cross Guild, it was in relation to them also learning something about Cross Guild.
And we learned a lot about Cross Guild in one giant spread.
Now, that's a dog on them, even though we're kind of dogging on them at this point. This just has one bit here,
Yes.
They're talking about the dissolution of the Seven Warlords resulted in
and again, this could have been
pirates.
happening during that when they were learning about the Cross Guild,
Yep. And, they're kind of just, working through the motions of it. Luffy doubles down and it's just Sabo definitely didn't do it. Yep. Sabo grew up in a home that was controlled him, a very controlling environment. He just wants everyone to be free, something that Luffy really vibes with.
Yep.
And we have a little bit of flashback from when they were the young kids, the three brothers.
That made me sad.
And then,
happy, but sad. Then
we get the very important bit. We finally have Luffy saying, I swore an oath to him and Ace, just the three of us. I wanna ... Page break. Cut back in. An expletive above the Going Sunny or Thousand Sunny's head.
The helm.
Mast.
Yep.
Helm,
yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
Zoro saying, huh? And everyone just kind of reacting in their own little ways.
Yep.
Jinbei being like, what did you say? Even Nami's face was like, what? Brooke with the whole big, bust out laughing as he's talking about what he wants to do. Yep. Now, what he's always been upfront with us about, and not something that we've ever had to, shy away from, is that he wants to be the Pirate King.
Yes.
But this actually right here, and they're even talking about it, that what he's saying here is something you would need to be the Pirate King already to be able to pull off.
Yep.
And I love the idea of that. Something so grand that the idea of being the Pirate King, this dream you have that either gets you hit with snide remarks or gets you hit with like a, wow, that means something. But most of the time in this show, it's been snide remarks. Yes. So what could you possibly want to do that being the Pirate King requires that level of gravitas?
Do you want to wait until the end for theories, or do you want to talk about it right now?
Oh, we can wait till the end. Right. We'll power through. We get the whole crew's reaction to it all. I do love it. I love laugh crying from Frankie. I do really like that. It seems the first 5 or the first 4 in this scenario have like very concerned reactions,
perturbed,
except for Sanji.
Yeah.
And even him, he's just like, "You sure you like?" It's so weird to me the way they react to it.
Yeah.
And there's definitely a lot to unpack just in that little instance there alone.
They say it right between the 2 reactions where it's just like, well, we're already following you anyway, right?
Yeah.
So it's like it's something that's so lofty that this is the reaction that it gets from everyone.
Yeah.
And then Chopper's like, wow.
That's all at the end of my dream, he says. Yeah. Now, he also says he only told this to Ace, Sabo, and Shanks.
Yes.
Do we ever see the scene where he says it to Shanks?
I don't think Shanks.
Right? That's the first time we're hearing that.
It's not coming to memory, but I'm sure it's, one of those things like in his childhood, in one of the many Shanks flashbacks, he probably, somewhere in between them.
Oh, I think they did mention it. I think Shanks might have said it's like he said exactly what the captain used to say to someone else. I think it might have been like Rayleigh. He said it to Rayleigh when he went to visit him in the bar. Oh. Right? Remember that? Like when we first met Rayleigh back in the Saboti archipelago? Yeah. They were talking about, the first time that Shanks told Rayleigh he had met this kid. Yeah. And he's like, he said the same things as the captain.
Yeah, that's right.
So maybe that's what they were referring to. Because at that time, we had no idea about this grand thing. In the anime, we had a really cool little, comparison of like Odin and Whitebeard reacting to Roger, and then Sabo and Ace reacting to Luffy as kids.
Yeah. To bookend it.
Yeah. I can't wait to talk about that scene. Yeah. We're not going to get there for a very long time.
Not for a very long time.
In our YouTube like anime reaction stuff.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking about some of that, not to aside too far, but I'm honestly like, I think the first big thing I'm very excited for them to like experience and for us to talk about is Brooke's backstory. Oh, it's so good. Backstory. It's so good. It's better than everyone else's. Yeah. I really believe that. I think Brooks has like the best.
I like Sanji's. Again, that's an aside, but I was just thinking about that.
Sanji also had, a future to develop it rather than being all developed at meeting.
Drew live.
Yeah. All right. Let's get back into chapter proper. And they start talking about, how do we fulfill this? Become Pirate King and one more road poneglyph, but no one's seen it. And even Robin says, like, don't make it sound so simple. The last poneglyph, no one knows where it is. No clue at all. We cut away from our Straw Hat Pirates, and we come back to the Navy HQ in the New World. Want to take that up?
Yeah, so, all right. So we open up into the scene. We see it proper. It's the... Last night, it was very late, and as I was reading it, I was like, the McDonald Arches.
It does look like the McDonald Arches.
No, but like, it really does. But it's supposed to be the wings of a seagull, Avi. And then we are... Let's see. Scroll down. There's no white transponder snail jamming. It's an emergency call.
So we have Sabo.
Yep.
His call is getting intercepted by the Navy. You know, it's like, oh wait, he's letting us kind of tap into this. Yes. That's kind of what they're going for. Yep. And we see that the Gorosei is also in on it. And where do they get him? In the kingdom of Lulusian. Now we don't really know what that is.
No.
I mean, we're gonna know in a second.
Yes.
And we can see. Finally, something happening. We can see that Imu-sama, whoever this name, somethingless. Figureless is wrong. Faceless is correct, I guess. Yeah, faceless figure.
Faceless figure, yeah.
Who runs the would-be empty throne.
Yes.
And they were like, oh, it's a perfect place for him to be hiding in the Lulusia kingdom because they're one of the openly rebelling kingdoms all of a sudden after Reverie and whatnot. We get a quick little one thing from everyone from the Gorosei, including from Gorbachev, rest in peace. Mm-hmm. And then we cut back to the Kamabaka Queendom. And we could see that the revolutionaries at their home base are able to talk to Sabo. And Dragon looks pretty...
He's not happy.
Yeah, not happy.
He's not, but we're not... Are we bulging one forehead vein? Or is that just
I think that's just the shape. I think that's just the shape of his head.
He just has a scowl, a permanent scowl. Like when they say, don't make that face, it'll get stuck. You know,
Yeah.
that's kind of all
He's
he
stuck
has.
with that face.
He's stuck with that face. Sabo in desperation, you know, he's calling through. I kind of like the crosshatch here because you can see that it is a dire strait as he's making this call. It's very important.
Yeah.
And it's really reflected here. And then large proclamation right by Sabo. I wasn't the one who assassinated King Cobra.
And we knew that.
And
they
we knew that.
They even said that too.
And I was
like,
very happy.
I believe it. I knew it. No
Exactly.
way. We had a feeling.
Yes. There was rejoicing here, and it felt like us, the reader. It's like, of course, no one's going to believe it because Sabo.
Yeah.
But it felt very vindicating that everyone immediately comes to his side.
Yes, indeed. But when I was in Marrowjoy, he says, he saw something terrible. Now, I think this is an important thing for him to really be bringing up because this is why he didn't patch up his line, you know? He got on that Den Mushi, and he was just like, all right, I want whoever's listening to hear
to
this.
listen.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so they said, you know, this guy, so like people are talking now over the Lulusia Kingdom, and they're like, oh, the sky's getting all dark. It's like, oh, some massive object is just like hovering overhead, it seems like. And then we get the king and the princess who had been captured by those like whatever pirates that Captain Kobe intercepted to save the Nefertari and Riku family from their ship thing. The first time we get to see Kobe in the post time skip. Yeah. Great. Well, we know where he is. Well, I mean, we know where he is right now in quotations.
Yes.
And so the king and princess are bugging out because they've been dethroned, you know, put into prison, and the people are just like, admit to your crimes and you don't got to worry about it. Now, back to what Sabo's saying, very important here. The empty throne in Pangea Pangea Castle. The throne that's supposed to remain forever empty because there's no king of the world actually has... Oh my gosh. This is so insane. I mean, I only read it through it once. I know you said you read through it once last night. Yep. So we're just kind of like reacting to this and how insane it is. So just to read it through specifically. Sabo says, the empty throne in Pangea Castle. Then it cuts back to, I believe it is the Navy talking. I think would be the best way to say it. Communications cut off the transponder snail. You know, they're trying to, you know, cut the sound before he says anything.
Because it's out to the public now.
Yep. And he's saying the throne that's supposed to remain forever empty because there's no king of this world actually has. Communications, listen to me. Hey, what's that shadow? As something creeps over the Lulusia Kingdom continuously. Yep. Communications, listen to me. You did not detect anything today. You did not intercept anything. The kingdom of Lulusia, that country, never existed. And we see Imu open up his Rinnegan, and he rains down a whatever this is. Yeah. I mean, it's incredibly difficult to like tell because even the onomatopoeia is just do-do-do-do-do, or do-do, just like these incredibly large sweeping motions. Now, I did read a theory online now that these lights are coming down and just destroying the kingdom.
Yes.
Or well, what used to be Lulusia country, Lulusia Kingdom. There are 16 individual beams of light that are coming down.
Wait, really?
16 is a decent number, like in terms of like fan theorizing, including there was a series of like cover pages where we got to see what Enel was up to on the moon. And one of the like the hieroglyphic arts that he was looking at in that cover story showed 3 different distinct things. And based on the imagery there, we could tell that one of them, or at least all of them were some sort of like, you know, old language, like poneglyph style, in a language that no one speaks, but he was kind of putting it together through the pictures. Yeah. And one of them was like a bunch of sea monsters. One of them was like a giant ark. And then one of them was this big symbol with 16 individual, like big symbol of the sun with 16 individual rays coming out from the sides of it. Oh. And so this person on Reddit had theorized, I'm sorry, I don't know, I can't give you proper credit. I only saw it in passing in the last couple of days, that, you know, all those fish and everything, that's Poseidon. That's Shirahoshi.
Yep.
The arc and everything, that is Pluton.
Yep.
And then this would be the last of those like ancient weapons.
Yeah.
This thing that has those 16 sides. I'm sorry, I'm really bastardizing this guy's whole theory, but it was pretty cool. I'm gonna see if I could find it, and I'll show it to you, Jesse, later on.
It sounds like it holds water. I would be able to see that, especially because I just counted that, right? It is
16, yes.
Yeah, it is 16.
If you cut straight across, if you look all the entry points,
Yep.
except for one right here, there's one missing entry point on the far right side, like inner far right side.
Yep.
Other than that, there's one coming down from the sky, and that would be 16.
Yeah.
That also is, 8 times for the coming of war and 8 times for the closing of it, and all these other different things that lead to the number 16, including taking those numerology things of 1 and 6, Imu. There's like a certain way to pronounce it and everything, and it was all part of this guy's theory. I don't want to go too far into it because I don't really know.
Yeah.
So transmission just says seaquake detected in the open sea to the southeast. Tsunami warning issued. Sabo. Couldn't get him. Classic Metal Gear Solid Snake. Then we get that, like, I guess this would be the... Oh, no, it's not the tsunami that we were dealing with there. Well, I mean, the Lelusia Kingdom was in the New World. And we know we're still in the New World.
Yes. Yeah.
So perhaps this is
be the after effect of it.
Yeah. I mean, it's cold, though. So maybe the tsunami's not quite correct. Yeah, they got icebergs and stuff. So, yeah. So now we have classic, like, Straw Hat shenanigans. They're dealing with some open water nonsense. And we can see them dealing with a snowstorm. I think this is the first time we've had like them dealing with inclement weather and the cold kind, and like a fun little thing together like this. Especially now that we have Jinbei at the helm, and they're very quick to be like, "All right, you do this. All right, we're gonna quickly furl the sails. The wind is too strong. We're nearly at the island yet." It's like, "No, we're almost there." All right, and then Chopper comes out with his cute little hat, nice little hat, big old hat, and Chopper's like, "You look great," and he was like, "Thanks. I know I look great." It's like, there's an enormous warm eddy. An eddy? Why is it rising above the water? I don't know what an eddy is.
So I felt like that was a callback to something, but I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I just don't quite get it. It's like a big like bluster, part of like the ocean, cold, etc. And it's kind of like in a dome, like a balloon, I would say, as it comes up from out of the ocean.
Yeah.
So a mass of warm water that got heated somewhere and now is being pushed upward. I mean, that makes sense. It's like an updraft, like the up current, whatever. Zoro. Brooke says it looks like an afro. Everyone's kind of just reacting to it. And Luffy's like, hey, wait, there's someone in there. Since we know that Luffy can pick stuff like that out pretty quickly. And they're like, oh, wait, what could it be? Oh, I think I hear a lady, Sanji says.
Sanji in classic fashion once again.
Of course. And then we got, it's getting pretty serious. And Zoro's like, all right, gonna just take care of it. One sword style bird dance. Have we seen bird dance before?
I don't remember it, but...
Me either.
I feel like there's a lot of techniques, under the repertoire. We have the staples and we have the ones that repeat. And every so often it's like, hey, you know what? Here's something else that I learned,
Yeah, name any other one sword technique other than Shishi Son Son.
Yeah.
Lion Death Strike. Or Death Lion Strike, whatever. And then so the wind picks up Chopper, gets him sailing through the sky.
I thought that was funny.
Oh, it's very funny. Luffy goes to get him, gets taken with him. And as they're flying around, who pops out? But Jewelry Bonnie.
When's the last time we saw her?
Jewelry Bonnie was last seen.
It's been a minute.
At Reverie to break Kuma out of the Reverie.
Yeah.
Which we know succeeded.
Yep.
But we don't know how her hand played into it.
Yep.
So next chapter, we're going to have another chapter of learning about things that didn't happen that happened during Wano, didn't happen to the Straw Hat crew, and then we're going to learn about the Straw Hat crew learning about those things that we are the viewers learning about.
Yes.
And we are happy to say no break next week.
Oh, really?
Yep. I saw that on the Discord, the One Piece Discord.
Very exciting.
There's no break next week.
Good.
So yeah, that's everything for chapter 1060. Pretty good one.
I was happy with it.
Absolutely.
I was excited to see Jewelry Bonnie again. I know we tore to shreds like halfway through about the recaps and everything like that, but don't let that fool you. I really did enjoy this chapter a lot. Yeah. Well, and our commentary was not about the chapter. It was just about like the we kind of want something. I don't because it's the One Piece arc. So obviously the objective is to get to the One Piece, and we've had 6,
7 chapters now, and it's just like, well, we're getting there, but like
going back on track of like shenanigans. Like, it's like, there's very serious things, but it's like also like, hey, remember when, you know, this first started and it was just we were a crew and it wasn't serious all the time, and it's like that's what kind of feels like it's a harken back to.
Yeah.
But like also, no, there's really serious things. Please continue. Please elaborate.
Yes, because it's fun.
Two pacifistas that we see, and it's like, no, please go back to that.
Yeah, we need more pacifistas. We need to know what's going on with Kobe. We need to know what's going on with Vivi. Is Boa Hancock joining the Straw Hat Grand Fleet?
Yeah.
Is Rayleigh actually going to hang around, or is he just retiring from here? Is Shaki ever going to do anything now that we know who she was?
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of questions and a lot of answers to find, but that is just the nature of One Piece.
Yeah, exactly.
All righty then. Anything else you wanted to touch on from this?
No, I think I'm pretty good.
Me too.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We were the News Coo Crew. I was your host, Christian, with my consistent co-host,
Jesse.
And we brought to you just now Chapter 1060. Keep an ear out for 1061 coming soon. And also go check out our anime review content, which is now freshly posted. We have episodes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 up at the time of this recording. And look forward to 5 and 6 at the end of the week that this should come out. Or if it's just up, hopefully, if you're watching this or listening to this in the future, you can just go and check out our whole backlog and any other animes we might start up. Again, News Coo Crew here, signing out.